The stage is set for a tight Rajya Sabha contest between the Congress and the BJP. 16 seats of the upper house of parliament will go to polls today. And essentially, it's a prestige battle between the Grand Old Party and the Saffron Party. Our next report gets you all the details you need to know.
Papers to be there. Okay.
The stage is set for a tight contest in the Rajya Sabha polls.
Some people have decided not to allow the house.
Of 57 seats that go to polls today, BJP holds 24 of them. While the results of 41 seats are certain, the fight is for the remaining 16 seats. The NDA holds 11 of these seats. The key contests are in for 4 states: Rajasthan, Haryana, Maharashtra and Karnataka. In Rajasthan, the BJP holds all 4 seats. But this time, the Congress has the numbers to win 2 seats and the BJP has enough for 1. For the 4th seat, BJP is backing media baron Subhash Chandra, who is currently RSMP from Haryana, and the Congress has fielded Naresh Agarwal. The number game in Maharashtra has become intense due to BJP split with the Shiv Sena and formation of MVA government. As per the current strength, the Ghadi could win 3 seats, while BJP could win 2. The face-off is over the 6th seat. In Haryana, the Congress has the numbers to get Ajay Makan elected. But the JJP has changed the equations by fielding media baron Kartikeya Sharma. With the BJP backing Sharma, any cross-voting by faction-ridden Congress will mean Makan loses the race. In Karnataka, Congress and BJP hold 2 seats each. BJP has announced 3 candidates. Congress announced 2 and JDS 1. Cross-voting could take place for the 4th seat, for which no party has the numbers. The BJP and Congress will once again lock horns in a close race. Bureau Report, India Today.
And joining us now on this broadcast is Rajdeep Sardesai. Rajdeep, good morning. Good to have you with us early this morning. Just break down for our viewers what's really at stake, considering that 16 seats across 4 states are up for grabs.
Well, first of all, good morning. Yes, big day in the Rajya Sabha elections because remember, 57 seats are vacant. 41 MPs elected unopposed, but there will be a contest for 16 seats at least across half a dozen states. And some of them will see once again BJP versus Congress. The BJP looking to consolidate its position in the Rajya Sabha, the Congress hoping to claw back. Remember, the BJP till a couple of months ago, in fact in April, became the first party in almost 3 decades to have more than 100 MPs in the Rajya Sabha. That mark now seems difficult to achieve. The Congress is expected to make some small gains, but there are a number of nail-biting contests in some states, and the prestige battle therefore will be primarily between these 2 parties. Also in Maharashtra, a prestige proxy war in a way between Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray and leader of the opposition Devendra Fadnavis, which could also tell us the direction, which way the wind is blowing in Maharashtra as well. So plenty to look forward to, especially for the 2 main national parties who are hoping to make some gains in the upper house of parliament.
And, in the run-up to this, we've seen so much of hectic politics, parlaying and resort politics as expected. Thanks, Rajdeep, for joining us with some insight into what to really expect today. But another big development that we're tracking this morning, months before Gujarat polls, Prime Minister Narendra Modi is all set to visit his home turf today. Prime Minister Modi will kickstart the day by taking part in the Gujarat Gaurav Abhiyan. He will inaugurate and lay the foundation stone for multiple development projects worth 3,050 crore rupees. Later in the day, he will also address a tribal gathering in Navsari. Prime Minister Modi will also inaugurate the headquarters of the Indian National Space Promotion and Authorization Centre in Ahmedabad. On June 18th, Prime Minister Modi will be visiting Vadodara. He is also going to be participating in a grand roadshow from the airport to the leprosy ground. The Vadodara Municipal Corporation is carrying out work to beautify the city by painting the sidewalks, carpeting of roads and pruning of trees. So in a matter of 1 week, Prime Minister Modi will be making 2 visits to Gujarat.
इसी तरीके से हर राज्य कॉलेज की सीटों में अगर हम देखें कि MBBS में 75
Let's get you all the latest updates on the political showdown over the Kerala gold scam. After blaming the Chief Minister and his family for the involvement in the scam, the main accused here, Swapna Suresh, has alleged that she's being pressurized by the Chief Minister's aides, by his men, to withdraw her statement.
Swapna Suresh is firing from all cylinders. The gold scam accused launched a fresh salvo at Pinarayi Vijayan, now claiming that she was being pressured by the CM's men to withdraw her statement. But Shaj Kiran, the man accused by Suresh, had his own version to give.
60 days friends നല്ല ഫ്രണ്ട്സ് എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ ഞങ്ങൾ ഒരു ചെറിയ ബിസിനസ്സുമായി ബന്ധപ്പെട്ട് ഒരു ലാൻഡിന്റെ ചെറിയ ഡീൽ പുള്ളിക്കാരിക്ക് ഒരു ലാൻഡ് ഉണ്ട് ട്രിവാൻഡ്രത്ത് അത് വിറ്റ് കൊടുക്കണമെന്ന് പറഞ്ഞുകൊണ്ടാണ് പുള്ളിക്കാരി ഞാൻ തമ്മിൽ ഒരു ലാൻഡ് ഡീലിലേക്ക് വരുന്നത് നാച്ചുറലി പിന്നെ എൻ്റെ വൈഫിന് അറിയാം എൻ്റെ പപ്പായ്ക്ക് അറിയാം ഞങ്ങൾ തമ്മിലൊരു പേഴ്സണലി ഒരു റിലേഷൻഷിപ്പ് ഉണ്ട് നല്ല റിലേഷൻഷിപ്പാണ് റോങ് റിലേഷൻഷിപ്പ് അല്ല ഞാൻ പറയുന്നത് ഞാൻ ശിവശങ്കർ എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞ ആളെ ടിവിയിലല്ലാതെ എവിടെയെങ്കിലും കണ്ടിട്ടുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ ആർക്കെങ്കിലും പ്രൂവ് ചെയ്യാമെങ്കിൽ ഇല്ലെങ്കിൽ എൻ്റെ 2 ഫോൺ നമ്പറും നിങ്ങൾക്ക് എല്ലാവർക്കും ഞാൻ തരാം.
Not everything is going well for Swapna Suresh though. Her request for anticipatory bail was rejected by the Kerala High Court on Thursday. That blew her chances of evading arrest in a complaint filed by former Pinarayi Minister K.T. Jalil.
And against the conspiracy, no serious allegations. These are the allegations which are continuing for the last 2 years in the state. Baseless allegations. This is a BJP conspiracy. BJP and UDF, they are trying to tarnish the existing LDF government.
While none of Swapna Suresh's charges against Vijayan have been substantiated, the opposition has found a handle to attack the left government. The Youth Congress held a protest against the Chief Minister, and other leaders joined the chorus for Vijayan's resignation.
Under the instruction from the Chief Minister of Kerala, Sri Pinarayi Vijayan, his then Principal Secretary, Shivashankaran, acted and directed Swapna Suresh to take the bag which is containing currency. Accused number 1 is Kerala Chief Minister Mr. Pinarayi Vijayan.
When the investigation is going on, the Chief Minister should not continue in his position. We need a fair investigation. He should not be in his chair. So he has to resign and investigation should be done under the leadership of the concerned court. That is our demand.
The Chief Minister has rubbished Swapna Suresh's charges, and the CPM says that the opposition's protests on an issue for which there is no evidence are proof enough that Swapna Suresh's charges are motivated. Bureau Report, India Today.
Let's get you a story from Bengaluru, a video that's gone fully viral of VVIP Arrogance. The daughter of a very prominent BJP MLA allegedly abused and argued with cops after she jumped a signal. The police held their ground and they left her off only after she paid off her fine. Let's play out that entire sequence for you in our next report.
Brazen VVIP arrogance in Bengaluru. Daughter of a BJP MLA who was stopped for jumping a signal abuses cops. The VVIP goes on to show her entitlement by misbehaving with the men in uniform. And then comes the cliched statement. Do you know who my father is? The woman is the daughter of BJP MLA Arvind Limbavali, Renuka. She argues that it's an MLA vehicle and she can't be fined for overtaking. Renuka refused to pay the fine on the spot and demanded she be sent home, claiming she did not have money. Finally, her friend pays the fine. Renuka also bashed the local channel that was recording the spectacle on the streets of Bengaluru.
Shut it off! Shut it off! Shut it off! Where are you from? I'll see you now. I'm a media person, okay? I came for shoot.
The Congress party has hit out at the MLA.
The kind of disregard and disrespect she has towards the authority is shocking and appalling. But on the other hand, it should not be so shocking because a few months ago, our own Home Minister Aragagyanendraji, the BJP leader, said police in Karnataka are like dogs, they take bribes and they behave accordingly or they function accordingly. So it shows the kind of disrespect BJP has towards the law enforcement department.
VVIP arrogance on full display. By now, everyone in the state knows who she is. Bureau Report, India Today.
Now charged with possession and consumption of drugs, jailed for 26 days, finally at the end of that, given a clean chit. Aryan Khan and his case have become the driving force of the reforms in the Narcotics Control Bureau and the NDPS Act. Why were charges against Shah Rukh Khan's son dropped? Why was he freed? Well, for the first time, we've accessed Aryan's statement to the SIT and also Shah Rukh Khan's emotional appeal. This is an India Today magazine special.
A drug raid on a cruise party. A 23-year-old celebrity scion taken off. Searched, interrogated and sent to jail for more than 3 weeks. Till he got bail. 7 months later, the Narcotics Control Bureau dropped all charges against Aryan Khan and 5 others.
There was no recovery from Aryan Khan. Third, and then when there was no material available to warrant the action to open his mobile or WhatsApp chat, but still it was open, and that mobile phone was never seized formally. The Honorable Supreme Court has said so many times that WhatsApp chats in themselves cannot be considered as evidence or primary evidence. So you need to have some primary evidence for WhatsApp chats to be used as corroborative evidence. So the legality of WhatsApp chat as evidence was always questionable.
But the inside story of how Aryan Khan was freed is much more elaborate. The latest issue of the India Today magazine offers a front row seat on how the star's son became a driving force of much needed reforms in the anti-narcotics agency. Remember how then local NCP head Sameer Wankhede, who led the arrests at the Mumbai port in October, waded into trouble over his own probity and procedural lapses in the investigation. Hitting the stands on Friday, India Today's cover sheds light on how the NCB's course correction picked up the pace in the Aryan Khan case. It happened the day the star's son turned 24. On November 12th, Khan Jr. drove off to a CRPF guest house in Navi Mumbai to meet the NCB's Special Investigation Team, headed by a seasoned Deputy Director General Sanjay Singh. The young man had his own set of questions for the NCB. Questions that were soul-searching. He asked the NCB why he was painted as an international drug trafficker. Why he was arrested when no drugs were found on his person. Why he had to spend weeks in jail, and that why his reputation was ruined. The India Today magazine cover reveals how Aryan Khan surprised the NCB's Special Investigation Team with his knowledge of the anti-narcotics law. The SIT dug deeper. It found serious, inexplicable lapses in Wankhede's investigation. He was hauled up for a shoddy probe. And in a candid conversation with the India Today magazine, the NCB chief explained why course correction became imperative. Lessons finally learned. A case that became a case study. Pick your copy of the latest issue of India's most widely read magazine for more on the unraveling of one of the most watched drug cases in the country. Bureau Report, India Today.
And here's a rather unique story that's got the world talking. Most of us are done looking for the one who's compatible and conscious enough to understand us and then get married. But don't worry, because India has just witnessed its first sologamy marriage, where a girl from Gujarat actually married herself, and that too with the full marriage rituals. Here's a report which has become the talking point in the country.
India witnessed a one-of-its-kind marriage in Gujarat's Vadodara. The much-talked-about sologamy of Shama Bindu took place a few days ahead of the scheduled date. Shama Bindu married herself with all the wedding rituals of Mehendi and Haldi. Despite the backlash and criticism from peers and friends, Shama married herself and thanked her supporters in a video message. The sologamy, which has become a popular talking point, did not go down well with politicians.
लड़के खुद से शादी कर रही है, लोकशाही देश के अनुसार मैं उस चीज़ का विरोध नहीं कर रही हूँ. उसने जो लग्न का प्लेस मंदिर चुना है महादेव जी का, मुझे इस बात का विरोध है. वो शादी बड़ौदा में कहाँ पर भी करे, हमें उससे कुछ लेना देना नहीं है, लेकिन कोई भी मंदिर में अगर वो शादी करेगी तो हम नहीं करने देंगे.
Congress leader Milind Deora, on the other hand, called her marriage another example of wokeness bordering on insanity. Shama, who identifies herself as bisexual, is a sociology graduate.
अभी से लेके रात भर मुझे नींद नहीं आई ये सोच के कि न्यूज़ जब जाएगी प्रिंट में तो लोगों का रिएक्शन क्या होगा, ये सोचते सोचते, और जो कि थोड़ी बहुत मुझे परेशानी हुई थी, पर अभी मैं बहुत खुश हूँ मेरी शादी के बाद और मैं बहुत कंप्लीट फील कर रही हूँ.
Shama currently works as a senior recruitment officer in a private company. While many criticize Shama, calling her step an act against Hinduism, several voices have backed her, calling her marriage an act of courage. With Digvijay Pathak from Vadodara, Bureau Report, India Today.
South Africa have ended India's 12-match winning streak with a 7-wicket victory in the first T20 International. Set a target of 212, David Miller and Van der Dussen scored a half-century each to guide the Proteas home.
It was all about the intent from the two young Indian openers. Ruturaj Gaikwad and Ishan Kishan were in top gear as soon as they stepped into the field. The two had raised 57 runs in quick time before Gaikwad was dismissed. Despite the breakthrough, South Africa couldn't put brakes on the scoring, with Shreyas Iyer taking the bowlers on frequently and also getting the desired results. Ishan Kishan took a special liking for Keshav Maharaj. 1-6 brought up his half-century before he went berserk in his next over, fetching himself 20 runs of the 4 deliveries. He got out for 76, but his 48-ball knock had put India on course for a big total. Iyer was also dismissed soon after, but Rishabh Pant and Hardik Pandya cleared the Kotla boundary at will to set South Africa a daunting target of 212 runs. In reply, India saw the back of skipper Temba Bavuma early, Bhuvneshwar Kumar getting that breakthrough. South Africa caught India a little off guard, promoting Wayne Pretorius up the order, and he went for his shots from the word go. Just when Pretorius was becoming a big threat for India, Harshal Patel got the better of him with a slow one. India tightened the noose around the Proteas that resulted in the dismissal of Quinton de Kock, Akshar Patel getting that prize scalp. While Rassie van der Dussen was struggling, David Miller continued with his rich IPL form and seemed to be playing a lone hand, but a good one. Van der Dussen, who was struggling so far, found his mojo back and smacked Harshal Patel for 3 sixes in an over to swing the match in South Africa's favour. South Africa didn't lose the plot from there on and sealed the match with both Miller and Van der Dussen scoring unbeaten half-centuries.
And that's all we have time for in this edition of Festa. Thank you for watching. Have a great day ahead and stay with us here on India Today. Over the next few hours, I'll continue getting you all the top stories.